Hi, friends. This is Chuck Marone. I got a question here I haven't had this one for a long time, and I find it very fascinating. I'm going to give it to you and the answer. Can suburbs sustainably opt for high taxes instead of suburban infill? So, can people raise their tax? Can a bunch of affluent people live in a place and just have really high taxes, and then they don't have to worry about this thing? Here's the question: um, If people living in a suburb are affluent enough, can they opt to eat the impact fees for utilities, roads, and thus, by definition, they are sustainable because the city can handle the taxes in the long term? Let me say, theoretically, I think the answer to that is yes. If enough like really wealthy people got together and they said, we're going to live this way, and we're happy to pay high fees, we're happy to pay high taxes, we're happy to have this level of service. Let's go, let's do it. Here's the problem with that. Um, Even when we have looked at really, really wealthy places, and I would say, one of the most wealthiest suburbs that I've looked at is like Carmel, um, in Indiana, bizarrely like in the red, like running a complete Ponzi scheme. It is not, it is not working that way. I have not seen one function in this way. And I guess the thing that I would do, or the challenge that I would make is, if this is what you want to do, then make it all private. Like, don't involve the government. What happens when you do this in the government is that government accounting is very opaque. Government accounting calls liabilities assets. It hides the commitments that you have. It really, really does a great job of kind of like covering up insolvency. One would almost say like that's that's the basis of public accounting in many ways. So if you believe if you believe that your city is financially solvent because you're willing to shoulder the highest taxes and the highest fees to make it that way, then just make it private, right? Just privatize all that stuff. And then you will know. Then you will show. In fact, if you live in such a community, you probably are of the mindset that government is really wasteful and inefficient. So like, don't do it in government. Have a private LLC run all of this. I think what you would find out is what we have found out in so many places, even where you have really high fees, even where you have really high taxes, what you have is a massive, massive gap between what people are willing to pay and what the cost actually is. What people are willing to pay long term, whether they can pay or not is a completely different thing, but what they are willing to pay for this level of service is completely out of whack with what it actually costs. So if your city manager, and in this case, it was a city manager saying, hey, we don't have anything to worry about this strong town stuff. Our people are rich. They're going to pay high taxes. They're going to be fine. I would be ridiculously skeptical of that. Really, really skeptical of that. Because the predominant likelihood is that city manager is not actually accounting for their liabilities. They're not actually passing on the costs. They've not actually tested their own theory. And the only time they're going to find out whether their own theory of operation works is when they get way, way down the road and they've got to go fix something. And the people say, we're not paying that. Go find the grant, go get more growth, go borrow some money, do what it takes because we're not going to absorb that tax hike. And that is the whole Ponzi scheme process, right? We see this all the time where a new development is built, a new suburb is built. The affluent people live there. The rich people pay there. They pay high taxes. They pay high fees. They're like, we're the best place. We got it all figured out. We know what we're doing. We don't have to worry about this. After a generation, when everything starts to age, everything starts to go bad, the affluent people start to scream a little bit. They're like, oh, this place is going bad. Oh, the city's become incompetent. Oh, nobody knows what they're doing. Oh, taxes are going up and services are going down. And so then the affluent people move on. If you're in that first like generation of growth and you think you've got it figured out, you think that like you're the one who through your own genius or through your own lucky, fortune or what have you, are in just the right place at the right time. And hey, I'm surrounded by wealthy people and they'll pay for anything. Good luck with that. I think you're living in delusion. If you've been there a long time, if you're a place that has been there 100 years, 150 years, and you've got a bunch of mansions and estates and people are maintaining it and they're paying high levels of taxes and you're making things work, chuckitstrongtowns.org. Send me an email. I would like to study your place because, quite frankly, never seen it. Never seen it.